So, hello everyone. I welcome you all to the series named Conversation with Kushal. So, today we have our first guest of our series named Karan Patel. He has done his articleship from EY and industrial training from JP Morgan. He's currently pursuing the job in JP Morgan. He has secured an All India rank 38 in his CA finals in November 2019. So, first of all, heartiest congratulations, Karan, for your achievements and thank you so much for accepting my invitation.
Thanks, Kushal. Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah. So, Karan, let us go through your CA journey. Could you just brief us about your CA journey?
Right. So I started my CA journey with CPT in June 15, then
Okay.
went on to give my both groups of IPCC in May 16, and
Okay.
then started my articleship after my results.
Okay. So where did you apply for your articleship after your IPCC results?
So I started with EY, and
Okay.
the way I got into EY was through my college's placement program. So they have a
Hmm.
specialized articleship placement program. I
Okay.
mentioned the fact because I want to signify, I want to indicate the importance of getting to a good college and making things easier for you,
Hmm.
so that opportunities come to you rather than you having to go out and seek opportunities.
Right.
That's how I got into EY, and soon after my results, I joined the firm. So no particular reason for choosing EY. It was
Hmm.
just the first company that I applied and got in, so
Okay.
might as well join it.
That's great. So how was your overall articleship experience for a couple of years in EY?
So the article experience was really, really good. I mean, especially for a young teenager to start in a big organization like EY,
Hmm.
it was really, really good. I got to work on some really exciting projects and with some really cool clients. Sometimes with the CXOs as well,
Wow.
and with the smartest people around. Thanks to Big Four attracting the best talent. So it was a really good experience. But I think the key takeaway for me would be getting an opportunity to build my own personality and work on the so-called soft skills, which really helped me till date, or it really helps in the long run.
Yeah.
Because when you're just joining a big organization like EY right out of college, you got to learn a lot of things apart from your technical skills,
Right.
and that's where EY really helped me build that personality of myself.
That's great. So when did you decide that you wanted to apply for industrial training and what factors you took into consideration while deciding whether to go for an industrial training or not?
Right. So I didn't really thought of doing industrial training until like just before the end of 2 years of my
Hmm.
articleship. So it was not pre-planned when I started my articleship that I would do
Hmm.
industrial training. I just got to know about the concept that okay, there's something called industrial training. I did my research on that, spoke to people who already undergone industrial training or were undergoing industrial training, and then
Hmm.
thought, okay, this is a great opportunity to do something which most people would do after qualification. So I
Hmm.
thought, okay, let's jump in and see. We'll think about the results later. Let's apply first,
Okay.
and that's how I just started applying, and it worked out well eventually.
Okay. So you had applied in the campus for industrial training which ICI organizes, or you had applied off campus?
So for me, I'd done off campus
Okay.
through applying to JP Morgan, but campus does have a dedicated slot for applying to industrial training opportunities.
Right, right.
At my time, I can confirm there were no lack of choices or lack of opportunities. But today, they're even better with more and more companies wanting to
Hmm.
hire industrial trainees. So it's more about your willingness to do industrial training than anything else. So
Yeah. So that's what I wanted to signify here because ICI organizes a campus for industrial training and many people are not aware about this. So basically,
right,
that's what I wanted to highlight here that you can check from ICI's website about the industrial training opportunities and the campus placements. So how did you
absolutely,
get to know
absolutely.
about JP Morgan specifically? So how did you reach out to JP Morgan?
So JP Morgan reaches out to colleges also saying,
Hmm.
okay, we're hiring industrial trainings. It also reaches out through its own network
Hmm.
who've been a part of the JP Morgan. So I
Hmm.
got to know through my college who put an
Okay.
email saying, okay, listen, the JP Morgan is hiring industrial trainees. If
Hmm.
you are interested, you can apply. I did apply, and that's how I got to know about it.
Okay, that's great. Because for others who are not into colleges, I think they can apply through LinkedIn as well, right? If they can just see the
Right.
post
So
on LinkedIn.
exactly. So for specifically for JP Morgan, it reaches out through various means. It has
Mm.
you can go on the website and check out.
Mm.
It reaches out to colleges.
Mm.
You can reach out to an employee if you think you're interested and want to apply. So there are multiple ways. It's about just reaching out.
Right. So in the comment section, like I put a community post that you're going to come. So there were a lot of comments and people were asking that is Big Four articleship mandatory to get into industrial training? So what are your thoughts on this
Uh,
particular take?
Right. So Big Four is not at all mandatory.
Mm.
It might help in terms of getting a perception in their head. Oh, okay, he's from Big Four, but it's not at all compulsory. They would
Okay.
fairly totally judge you based on what you've done previously, what your academic record is, where
Mm.
you work, what you worked, and
Mm.
obviously once they meet you, they'll decide. So Big Four is not a concrete criteria to have.
Okay. Yep. And parallelly, like asking a similar question, do you think that number of attempts matter if you want to get into industrial training?
Okay. So it's not mandatory to clear in one attempt, but it really
Mm.
helps. So I'll be honest here.
Okay.
If you
Okay.
clear in a single attempt,
Mm.
it definitely helps you through the filtration rounds that each company has. But
Mm.
having said that, if you've got a good CV, they
Mm.
won't really hold you back just because of your attempt. So it's
Mm.
not really an attempt driven thing. If you can
Okay.
prove yourself in the one page CV that you're giving out, I think
Mm.
that they're more than happy to interview or give you an opportunity.
Okay, that's nice. So let us discuss about your interview experience of JP Morgan since you were giving an interview in JP Morgan. So let's discuss how was your overall experience. Could you just brief out about the process of interview which happens in JP Morgan?
Right. So my interview experience was really good, and I was it was my only second interview, so I was
Mm.
really amazed by how structured and rigorous it was at the same time.
Mm.
So the interview structure was as follows. So they had an online aptitude test,
Mm.
MCQ based test,
Okay.
where they had questions on your basics of accounting,
Mm.
finance, current affairs, and all that. Then they
Okay.
shortlisted people based on that. They had a written test, after
Mm.
which they finally shortlisted people for interview rounds, personal interview
Mm.
rounds. I personally went through 3 rounds of personal interviews,
Okay.
which were quite challenging. I wouldn't
Mm.
say they were a cakewalk, uh, but a good experience. The questions ranged from previous work experience, what you did
Mm.
previously at EVAC.
Mm.
So people should definitely brush up what they've done. Getting your basics right about your concepts in IPCC and
Mm.
somewhat related to CA final.
Mm.
That'll be a bonus. And I'd prepared because I wanted it
Okay.
badly. So it's a good to know your basics because they will be
Mm.
asked. Apart from that, they had questions on the capital markets
Mm.
related to valuation
Mm.
and some tricky questions as well. So it was a good
Right.
interview experience overall.
Okay, that's nice. So what advice you would like to give to these aspirants who want to get into industrial training? So how should they prepare? And are there any courses like financial modeling which can help them to prepare for these interviews? What is your take on this?
Right. So for me personally, I didn't take up any course online. What I
Hmm.
did was open our ICI books and went
Okay.
through the concepts of simple SFM book. You can go
Okay.
through them and get the basics right. So they don't expect you to know everything when
Hmm.
interviewing, but at least you should get the basics right. So, but definitely a
Okay.
course would help you. Now have a lot of
Right.
courses online.
Hmm.
You can do that. It's a value addition if you have the time. Might as well
Right.
do it for to enhance your knowledge. So it
Right.
definitely helps. I wouldn't
Yeah,
deny
because
that.
even I was going through udemy.com and they have financial modeling courses and there are a lot of websites which have these financial modeling courses. So like a lot of students were asking where do we get these courses? So I was just recommending that you can get these courses from these websites. So I think that would add
Correct.
a little value if you want to get into investment banking or a finance profession.
Absolutely. Right. So
Yeah,
any preparation you do before the interview would not go waste because
right, exactly.
it might just come helpful, right? And if not,
Right.
learn something better at the end of the day. So
Right.
go for it.
Exactly. So after your interview, then you got a call. You were selected in JP Morgan, and then let's
Right.
discuss about your typical day at JP Morgan. So how was your overall work experience during your industrial training?
Right. So my overall work experience was really different from what I did at EY.
Hmm.
Things at JP Morgan move at a really quick pace with
Hmm.
shorter deadlines. So
Hmm.
that really made me good at multitasking and working under pressure. I think
Hmm.
that's a key thing.
Hmm.
Apart from that, it gave me an opportunity to work with colleagues across cities and countries. In fact, I'm friends with some of them right now. So
Hmm.
it helps you build that global perspective and network as well.
Hmm.
Uh, in terms of core skills, I think those would be related to valuation, financial modeling,
Hmm.
knowing more about the capital fundraising process,
Hmm.
about M&A and the rationales, knowing about interesting business models,
Hmm.
about industry knowledge, uh, and all those related. So it's been a good you know experience in terms of knowledge gaining as well. A lot of stuff I didn't know now I know because of the work ex. So
Right.
it's been a great journey so far.
Yeah, that's glad to hear because normally an article does not get an exposure like this because like M&A deals,
Exactly.
fundraising, capital
Right.
market, this is usually not
Right. So
given through an article. So this is a very good opportunity for all the industrial trainees. So that was the significance of this particular video as well. So I think
absolutely, and I think
that was a
that would
great
be the
point.
case with that will be the case with other companies as well.
Hmm.
So it's not just related to JPM, but
Yeah,
any
right,
other company you're seeking out to, you will be given a lot of responsibility which you were not used to at an
right,
articleship for, which will only
exactly.
help you build yourself. So I think that's better than
Yeah. So, like, one advice
some.
which we
Yeah,
can give to all the aspirants is that if they really want to get into industry in the future, the industrial training becomes
right.
a must because they can understand the
Yeah,
corporate culture right before the CA finals itself. So that would help them in order
absolutely.
to survive in the industry much better.
Right, absolutely, and it also helps to build your own perception
Hmm.
and whether you're liking the work or
Hmm.
what kind of a work culture you want to. So you really have like a 1 year head start
Hmm.
before qualification where you already know, okay, this is not working out for me. I'm going to try something else, or if this
Right.
is working out for
Exactly.
me, this is what I'm going to do. So, which
Exactly.
is a very big distinction amongst a lot of CAs who just going through a 3 year articleship. I would say.
Right, right, exactly. So in your team, there would also be many CFAs, like many people who have done their CFA courses. So most of the people were
Right.
also asking that is it mandatory to get a CFA qualification in order to get into investment banking? What is your take on
No,
this?
not at all mandatory. In fact, when I applied, I had none of the CFA levels
Okay, that's great.
against my name. So
Hmm.
I got in without a CFA,
Okay.
attempt or level against my name. So it's not at all mandatory. If you're
Hmm.
doing it, good. But I think personally, I feel your CA preparations should come
Hmm.
first and then CFA. You can do CFA after qualification as well as an
Hmm.
add-on, but and I would say focus on your CA preparations because that'll
Right.
drive your career ahead.
Right, right. So yeah, this was a myth because most of the people were confused. Like they thought that CFA is mandatory in order to get into IB.
Not at all.
So yeah,
No.
thanks for clearing this myth. And one very important question which I'd like to ask now, you had deferred your attempt by 6 months, right? So you had your
Right.
attempt in May 2019, but you gave in November 2019. So I'd like to ask
Right.
that what were the factors you considered in order to defer your attempt? So I'll just put it in a different way, basically, whether deferring an attempt and getting a rank is better than not deferring the attempt with no rank. So what would be your take?
Right. So to answer your first question, it was a really tough decision because
Hmm.
all my friends and peers were giving me 16.
Hmm.
So taking that decision
Right.
to hold yourself back and say, oh, I'm gonna give November,
Hmm.
was really tough. But then so for me personally, I had three straight out options. I could
Hmm.
continue with EY, get a 5 month leave
Hmm.
for my CA finals, again give May 19th.
Hmm.
I could take the 3 months of leave offered by JP Morgan and give May 19 irrespective.
Hmm.
And or the final one which I took was use the three months of leave at the end and
Hmm.
get an effective 5 month window for
Right.
my CA final preparations in November 19th. So
Great.
the most important decision making factor was to put the best foot forward in terms of attempting the most important exam of my life. So I
Hmm.
wasn't really concerned about which attempt I'm giving, but I
Hmm.
always had in mind that I wanted to give the best
Hmm.
preparations for that exam. So that was a clear indication. Having said that, if I had, in hindsight, if I had thought of doing industrial training at the beginning of
Hmm.
my articleship, I could have probably planned those 2 years during my articleship and
Hmm.
prepared simultaneously, and probably taken the second option of giving May 19 irrespective
Right.
with a 3 month window. So anyone who's starting out initially and is sure of doing industrial training
Right.
should start with
Hmm.
their preparations gradually. I was someone who got to know about it later on, and
Hmm.
uh, thought I wasn't in the best of position
Hmm.
to take 3 months and give my CA final attempt, and that's why I
Okay.
deferred. So that
Okay.
was my
So,
personal being. Yeah.
yeah. So, what do you think about the decision now? Do you regret about the decision, or you are very happy about that particular decision?
Uh, it worked out really well with the rank. I
Hmm.
think it worked out really well. You'll
Okay.
have the phase where you have your friends passing out in the previous attempt, and
Hmm.
you're sitting and studying, thinking about
Yeah.
whether you did the
Exactly.
right decision or no.
Hmm.
But just have faith in your preparations.
Hmm.
You got it's your own journey. You got to own up to it. You got to prepare accordingly, and
Hmm.
it worked out really well with the rank.
Yeah.
So no complaints at all.
That's great. That's great. So, any last message which you would like to give to all the CA aspirants who are watching this?
Right. So anyone, all our CA students who starting out with their articleships or are thinking
Hmm.
about industrial training, one advice would be go reach out to people. Don't
Hmm.
hesitate. More often than not, people will help you out
Hmm.
with your queries. So
Hmm.
don't be hesitant to ask questions. You
Hmm.
will get a lot of information if you ask questions. So
Right.
do that. Reach out to your seniors or your seniors or qualified CAs, but
Hmm.
don't hold yourself back in asking questions or getting to know more about something. So
Right.
I think that's something I've acquired over the years.
Okay.
So it's been really helpful. So go ahead and do that. Don't hold yourself back. Don't think twice before asking questions.
Yeah, that's glad to hear because like you need to be extrovert if you want to survive in the industry and if you want the dream job which you are planning to. I think you need to talk to a lot of people in order to gain insights. So that would be
Right,
the
right.
crux point. Yeah. So thank you so much, Karan, for
Absolutely.
sharing your experience. Like it was a very insightful session, and I hope it would be helpful for all the CA aspirants who are watching this. Thanks a lot for sparing your time, and wish you all the
It
very
was a
best for
pleasure.
your future endeavors.
Thanks a lot, Kushal. It was a pleasure being on the show, and hopefully it's helpful to everyone who's watching it.
Yes,
Right. Thanks a lot.
exactly.
I
Yeah.
hope
Thank
this was an
you.
insightful
Bye.
session for all of you and you were able to learn a lot of things from this session. I would also like to state that there were a lot of comments in the community post, but then I was not able to incorporate all the queries because of shortage of time. So if there are any pending queries as of now, feel free to comment below and we would reply to all your comments as per our time and availability. Also, if you want to connect with Karan, you can connect with him through LinkedIn. I've given his LinkedIn link on description box. And there's also a podcast which Karan does. So you can also listen to his podcast related to VCs and entrepreneurship. So you can also listen to the podcast by clicking on the link below given in the description box. If someone asks me that Kushal, what is the mistake you have done in your life, and given that you could go back to your time, what is the thing which you would like to rectify? So I tell them that industrial training is very important, and I did not pursue industrial training. That was the biggest mistake which I had done. If I would have known the importance of industrial training back, then I would have definitely done industrial training. So one advice for all of you is that if you really want to get into industry in the future, you really need to pursue industrial training in any company so that you have an advantage over other candidates in terms of shortlisting as well as selection in several companies in the future. So I hope this video would be useful for all of you. At this point of time, I'd like to thank Unacademy for sponsoring the video. For intermediate students, there is a batch which has started from 25th of August, and that is at a very subsidized cost of 3,500 rupees for 1 month subscription. So if you are interested, you can very well join that particular batch. You can use my code, that is Kushal5, to get a 10% discount. And as per your interest, you can definitely renew the subscription for Unacademy. So thank you so much for watching the video. I hope this video was useful for all of you. Do comment your feedback if any of the series named Conversation with Kushal, and I'd like to invite more eminent personalities who can share their insights with all of you. So thank you so much guys for watching the video. See you in the next video.